He got jumped by his own jump scare.
Right, so the thing is, what we do is we get an assembly cut together. Just this really good way of seeing, it doesn't matter how rough it is either, because it's all about seeing what did we get? Does it, does the story flow as far as, does it all make sense? Is there any kind of massive gaps? And it's a good way of also seeing, because of something like Treaters, we've got a few little bits and pickups and things to do as well. So you can kind of say, we need that of a certain character, we need this, and this. What I kind of like to do is just get it all down first, like a vomit pass. Once you're happy with the way it's going, move in and go and explore all the other takes. It's like kind of doing it in waves, really. You kind of you go back and you revisit a moment and see whether or not you can make that moment kind of any better once you know that moment is working within the film itself. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment. We've done quite a few passes of the edit. It's shaping up really, really nicely. I just stick a very temporary grade or LUT on it so that you can kind of see what you're doing a little bit better. So that's just helps with the cutting as well. Something that after a couple of goes through that's very much worth doing is, especially for a film like Treaters, is to put in temporary sound effects, because there's not a spoiler to say there's not a heck of a lot of dialogue in the film, and it relies a lot on sound, and there's going to be quite a bit of, sort of propulsive score underneath it. So I've used a little bit of temporary score, because when you're showing other people, you can't really be behind them kind of making sound effects and kind of saying, and there'll be a big drum beat, da-da-dum, here, because it kind of ruins the experience of, seeing a cut. And also it's silly.
Yeah, I think when we did Litterbugs, I made a mistake and I went straight into editing because I was so keen to start putting the footage together and see if it worked. I kind of freaked out a little bit because when we watched the movie, it was quite flat and soulless, and it kind of taught me a lesson, really, to sort of best thing to do is sort of step away after you filmed for a bit of time, and then come in after Megan and Tom both done an assembly, and then start to then go, it's looking good, okay, now let's go back. And I didn't freak out as much as I did in Litterbugs. So now it's a case of we've got a film that is working, so if it's working at this level, then we're in a good place, and we're pretty happy with how it's going.
It's funny because you say that feeling of being able to step away from from the edit and just kind of come back and just sort of kind of see it together. Because Megan was our sort of on-set DIT. She was able to, she did put the edit together, and so I was able to kind of come into the edit room and say, right, let's just kind of take a look, and just sort of see how it kind of plays.
Sure.
So now that it's in a good place, and we've done quite a few iterations of the edit. When we're looking quite happy now with it, what we're going to be doing next is moving to visual effects. What we'll do is we'll sit down, we'll watch the film, we'll make a note of all of the effects that need to be done, and create a VFX kind of list, really. And so that will be up next. Be good. Be good. That's a bad sign off.